Have you ever passed by a historical marker here in town without giving it a second thought? You might be wondering what a historical marker even is. The Florida Historical Marker Program recognizes historic resources, persons, and events that are significant in the areas of architecture, archaeology, Florida history, and traditional culture by promoting the placing of historic markers and plaques at sites of historical and visual interest. Today on Facts in 5, we'll look at some of the rich cultural heritage represented by historical markers here in the city of Jacksonville in 5 minutes or less. Let's get started. First up, we have Old Brewster Hospital. Built in 1885 as a private residence, Old Brewster Hospital and Nursing Training School was the first medical facility to serve Jacksonville's African American community. Located in the La Villa neighborhood, the hospital opened in 1901 through the efforts of the Women's Home Missionary Society of the Methodist Episcopal Church. Matilda Cutting Brewster of Danielson, Connecticut, donated $1,000 in honor of her late husband, the Reverend George A. Brewster, to help start the hospital. One of the earliest nursing training programs in Florida, its students were welcomed by the community and made 1,230 house calls in 1901. The hospital soon outgrew its first facility and relocated to a different part of La Villa in 1910. By 1931, it was located in a large brick building on North Jefferson Street in the old Sugar Hill neighborhood. With the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, Brewster Hospital closed in 1966 and reopened in 1967 as the Methodist Hospital. In 2005, the old Brewster Hospital building was moved to its present location from its original site at 915 West Monroe Street. Next, we have Norman Film Studios. Billed as the world's winter film capital, Jacksonville was home to more than 30 silent film studios from 1908 through 1922. The Eagle Film City, which opened in 1916 in the Arlington community of South Jacksonville, was purchased in 1922 by Richard E. Norman Sr. The property consists of a production building, generator building, a small cottage for visiting actors, a prop storage building, indoor sound stage, and an outdoor pool for water scenes. Norman was one of the first independent movie producers to recognize the commercial potential of making films featuring an all-black cast for viewing in African American communities. Although completing several of his productions before moving to Jacksonville, Norman produced 8 feature films between 1920 and 1928, including The Green-Eyed Monster, The Crimson Skull, Regeneration, A Debtor to the Law, The Flying Ace, and The Black Gold. Contrary to most movies made during the silent screen era, Norman's films were free of racial stereotypes and depicted African Americans in a more positive light. Although only one of Norman's films, The Flying Ace, is known to exist, the 5 buildings that formed the studios remain. Lastly, we have J.P. Small Memorial Stadium. James P. Small Memorial Stadium, also known as Durkee Field, has served as the epicenter of organized baseball in Jacksonville. Located at 1701 Myrtle Avenue, the field has hosted spring trainings and exhibition games of the major league teams, as well as home to several minor league teams, such as the Jacksonville Tars and the Jacksonville Redcaps of the Negro League. In 1953, the Jacksonville Braves broke the color line of the South Atlantic League by bringing in 3 African American players. One was 19-year-old Henry Hank Aaron, who played at Durkee Field for 1 year before being moved to the Milwaukee Braves. Also known at different times as Bars Field, the Myrtle Avenue Ballpark, Joseph H. Durkee Athletic Field, and currently James P. Small Memorial Stadium, this block of property at the southeast corner of West 8th Street and North Myrtle Avenue has been the site of organized professional, semi-professional, and amateur baseball since 1911. The current steel and brick grandstand has the same basic appearance as originally designed and constructed in 1935 and as expanded in 1937. Well, that's all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of the sites of historical markers here in Jacksonville. You can now view the Facts in 5 video series on YouTube. Simply search for Facts in 5 Black History. Don't forget to respond to the discussion questions posed at the display in the back on the crisis in Black education. I'll see you next week, and as always, thanks for watching.